a white pill that I've seen, you know, there's signature things they show you in health class. Like, yeah, you know me, party animal. I've ever had alcohol. But yeah, fun time. And then I got home today at about, I don't know, 10, and my wife picked me up from the airport. We went to a bakery and we were like, what the heck? Like, let's get a bunch of good stuff for breakfast. We should order like a pastry and a meal. And instead we ordered like 4 pastries and a meal each. And that was really good. But then it was like, this is pretty much our food intake for the day. Yeah, exactly. Leftovers. I don't have.
Sounds great to me.
Screen up. Oh, you're right. Don't worry, chat. You'll see Snack once we're up there. A sea snack. Yeah, beware the sea snack. I'm gonna. That's so many Beanie Babies. No one's ever seen that many of them. I'm gonna put our actual faces live on the stream here because I need to close OBS. I installed that vertical elements destroyer. It is not optimized for Windows at all. It's terrible. That's why our stream sucked last week. And I can see we're unstable again this week, so I'm just gonna close OBS and get the heck out of there. But we're still gonna chill for nothing.
This is a much nicer elevation change machine than we're used to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I need to sit on the left side.
Yeah, now you can see it, chat.
Sure.
Behind Matt there, right
I'll
where it
wait.
says the road,
Scoot,
you can see
scoot.
Snap.
Okay.
Into a
Yeah.
spot.
But it actually,
Okay, that's better.
but you can see
That's
Snap.
better. Thanks.
Snap.
Is there something specific about the
I
left
also
side
can
of
show
these
you that
machines?
tonight.
I just used my cane on my right side. I like to,
but it has
you know,
a little unicorn straw in
don't
it.
like to leave my back to a door, and got a little trick elbow. Sometimes it needs a little, leaning or something.
Seems about accurate.
Of course.
Chat.
So, Radford,
Mm-hmm.
how'd you end up at Four Guys Adventures in Vibe?
Oh, well,
I'm
they
exhausted.
were,
I'm
causing
so
a bit of a
caffeinated
stir.
Right now. DMing's gonna
a
be
little
great.
bit of a
The only time it's ever been
kerfuffle
bad is
with
that's a
the,
really prideful thing to
with
say.
the-
The only
with
time
the
I've ever
Vipers
felt
and
like it
the-
was bad is
the
when
Jedis
the one
cleaning
night I
things
didn't
up,
have caffeine.
and,
I was like, wow, I suck.
They weren't doing too great, and they needed some muscle, and I was like, hey, I could help out. Need some coin, but you're a Rinchy, aren't you, big guy? Well, not you, big guy. You, and he points to Alan.
Alan will kind of smirk at the term wrenchy and kind of yes, and actually Laredith here is you would possibly consider a wrenchy as well, and Alan will kind of pat Laredith on the back. Alan would totally be conscientious of that and not pat on the wings.
Get after it.
Alan I am so sorry, and completely hands behind his back, not gonna do that ever again.
Yeah, so anyway, I was just kinda I heard about you and how you're really good at making stuff and fixing things up. Is that
well, I appreciate that, and whoever gave that information to you, they're very kind. I think a lot of the things that I've worked on and helped create are all in that, as though I helped create them.
Yeah. This is
I feel
taking
like I
a dark
learned a lot
turn right
from
now.
Elaine Mollusk from our adventures down in Tumbleweb, which I'm sure you may have heard about from Yeah.
You are the bit. Who are we
and
kidding?
also from one of the original founders who.
Yeah.
And then Alan's gonna kind of look at the rest of the group and
is.
kind of nod, kind of trying to gain a little bit of
It can
confidence
be
about
both.
it. Who
So
hopefully will be
clear. But
rescuing
in my case,
soon.
I think it's a compliment.
Jebediah
I'm all
Peppermint.
about the bit.
He was
I'm
a really
in.
good ideas guy.
Also,
and,
want to take an
I feel
opportunity
like I learned a lot
before
from
our
him.
stream
So
starts to shout out a real decon.
I think
Thanks for the follow.
I've helped
6 days
work on
ago.
a lot of great things, and I really
We were in
appreciate that.
Miami.
But it's
I know
it's
you.
all about collaboration.
I know you. We talked.
honestly.
A team effort.
Yes, exactly.
so you and the ideas guy? Huh?
Well, rip you.
You ever
Yeah.
work on something big?
thing.
Well,
It's just, it was
I
insane.
feel like
Kids don't do drugs.
we had some big ideas for sure, and Alan will kind of like shift a little bit and then kind of remember that he has
it's the real
Big
rat
Boy
poison.
and the blunderbuss
Killing
in his
your
pack
eardrums.
still, and he'll kind of pull out the blunderbuss,
Oh,
or
no,
he'll
no,
pull
no.
out Big Boy
No,
because
I'm
that's the one
talking-
that he helped work on.
I'm talking big.
Oh my gosh! We went to this taco place. It's
bigger
called
than this
SoCal Taco.
Verticulator.
And I know.
mean,
It was
there's our
the
idea for
guy I was working
televiving.
with all
I'm not
week.
talking to big in
His
concept.
girlfriend's
And
Mexican
Alan's
food,
gonna
and she
kind of
said this
like
is the
put his
only place
hand
on
in
the
his
Holy
hand
Coast
for
she's ever eaten at
televiving.
that, like,
He's like,
has
televiving.
high-quality
That's
Mexican food.
that was definitely
And
more jab.
I thought I had high quality Mexican food before this, but after eating there, I think she's right. So
Not necessarily.
it's so good.
We worked on a lot of modifications for our Cypher truck. However, the Cypher truck was already built and
You were.
engineered by
I turned
Elaine
you
Mollusk.
up just, and then you just became
but
horribly loud. Let me turn you back
it's
down. Yeah.
Not exactly. No.
You think you'd be up for the challenge?
Oh, I would be very interested in the challenge,
Well,
especially if it were to help us on our journey here.
Say
Well,
some
so-
words. Some word dizzle.
I'm looking for something.
Yeah, that's
and
never
he
happened
gets
to you
like
before.
really kind of squinty-eyed and says,
Alan's gonna lean in.
"Have you ever
touched
heard
the
of?"
butt.
Zoff will lean into.
Yeah, you do. Have you ever heard of the month of
I just leave it
Mellow?
where it is, and I'll turn you up. That itself too.
Yes, I actually have heard of it.
We
in
can-
fact,
Yeah, we can.
when
turn you up
I
without asking. Don't worry
first
about
arrived back when I was a soldier,
Chat says this is the Fox
at,
stream with guest
Rust
stars.
Free,
Everyone
which
else.
eventually became Stainless. We arrived around the time of the month of Mellow, and one of our first preparations or actions that we did once we got there and liberated the city was to set preparations for the festival.
But it never happened.
It
No.
is if it's Taco Bell, which I
darkening
think is
happened.
what you're.
I've been on a bit of a pilgrimage, kind of searching myself out, finding my way in the world, and I feel like the month
were
is
all right.
key. I need to. He kind of
Okay.
like looks out the windows, just make sure there's no. He's looking for people to like possibly overhear, even though he knows he's like descending in a verticulator. He like waits for one of the layers to go by. Yeah.
There's in
So,
the Midwest near
I haven't
Jake
been there in a long
called
time.
Windows that is open 24
haven't
hours.
seen him in a long
And
time.
the customer service when you
But
go through the drive-thru because
I'm
they have
looking
to
for
do
Kay.
work. And I
Did
never
you
even tried
know
the
Kay
tacos.
before the darkening?
I mean, I
but the
didn't know
burritos
him,
Are just, I don't know if it's
but
because it was
I've been
3
one
in the
of his
morning
parties,
or if it's
time or
just
two.
like in general their burritos
really
are
nice
actually really good.
barges,
But I only
really
ever
good
went
stuff,
there
really good
between
food,
like 1 and 4 a.m.
nice vibes,
And
the best vibes.
man,
Ooh.
their food was good.
I tell
and they
you,
were big too,
going
like
through
big
a-
old long
Do a
burritos.
party like Kay,
And it was just
but
on a burrito
I was
that you
all
can
ready
beat
for the
someone
month
up
of
with if
Mellow.
they try and mug you and then
I was ready
finish
for
eating.
it.
That's
he talked
yeah,
it
exactly a bludgeoning
up years
weapon.
in advance,
Yeah.
and
Why are you bludgeoning me with your volume? All right, Chad, if he gets quiet, it's on him. I'm leaving it at the safe level for the stream. If he gets quiet, this is going to be a him problem, and you can check us out on Spotify. !pod in the chat.
Let me tell you, Radford, our entire town was so ready for the month of Mellow. We had so many fun parties.
it was a dark time.
Yeah, I
The lead
I'd be interested to hear Zothkug what
lead
that was like
investigator
for you,
Fox.
especially as a worshiper of Kelnor.
Are we
in Stainless,
are we maybe looking to
it
play
was
some Dungeons and
definitely
Dragons? You guys feel like
disappointing
maybe
as it
we
was
do that?
kind of going to be considered the symbol
And it
of
was
the new
not.
leadership and the new direction for the city, and it simply never came. But I imagine for a town of
That's already
people
in
who were
character.
extremely invested in the religious aspect of it as well, it must have been devastating.
It hit us hard. It hit us all very, very hard.
All right. Well, if you recall,
We had
the
an
last
annual
time we
festival
joined at this
every
table
year
in
in
this
honor
hallowed
of
tavern
him,
on a
called
lovely Monday
Stockwood.
evening. We spent
And
most
we would
of that
go
session
into
in
the
a
woods,
Verticulator.
and we would all set up
that is
tents
the
and
name for
be
the
like a
elevators in
giant
Gaim,
camping
making our
trip,
way from
basically.
the 10th
But
tier where
everyone's
Four Guys Ventures and
dancing,
Vibes is, all the
everyone's
way
using
down
their
1,500
magic
feet
to like enhance
to
the party.
the first tier.
We'd get
The
we'd make
clockwork
these
tier,
like giant
where
piles
the
of wood
most
and have these
high-class
huge
machinery,
bonfires.
expensive
Everyone
real
would be
estate,
making
and
various
most
foods.
importantly, the royal palace of Gaim are
We'd use
located.
whatever we found in the
Alan,
forest.
Radford,
It was a good time.
Zothcud,
Did you ever go
and
to
Laredith
Stockwood,
made
Fox?
their way down there
Fox isn't
to
here.
appeal to
Who's
the
Fox?
Queen, Salen,
Oh, right.
for
Oh.
asylum for
Oh,
Laredith.
I know
We're
it's
pretty confident that
it's
the
been a
Aboleths
tiring
know
journey.
where Four
I
Guys
kind of forgot he
headquarters
wasn't
is
here as well.
Oh, is that your buddy? He's up to stay
attack
behind.
any day now, and it has. I mean, it's already been 3 days just getting here. You know, of walking through the mountains, and then another day of kind of making a plan and getting down. So we're on day 4 since Jeb was taken. That's a lot of time for the Aboleths to have had that information and be cooking up whatever's coming next. So we're feeling a little bit of time pressure here. We made it down to the clockwork tier and found it bustling, busy. And that is because we are on the eve of the Harvest Festival. And there are all these preparations being made for, you know, the parties on, you know, each tier is holding a big party. And obviously royalty are probably going to do something crazy or host a party in the palace or something. So there's a lot going on. And the line just to get into the palace receiving hall to make an appeal to the queen is so long that it reaches almost the whole way back to the Verticulator. It crosses most of the tier, winding in and out of the pillars that suspend the other bridges high above you. You noticed as you stood there in line, you noticed that some creature, some beast was being wheeled under heavy guard by some elite soldiers back towards the palace. And Zoth was able to intuit as it went by that there was something wrong with that creature. There was some kind of poison or infection or corruption or something like that. And by bringing this information up and sort of offering your the line, like it's not to an appeal with the queen, but you're closer because you're now working with one of the gemstone guardians, the queen's royal elite guard, and some of their wardens, which are kind of their lackeys, if you will. Like they're ODSTs, and the gemstone guardians are Spartans. And that's the only analogy I have. Sorry. And so you have in this scenario you found that the troll has been exposed to some kind of soul rot, which we're pretty confident came from extraplanar energy of some kind.
I'm in an alley,
it's not like it was
right?
born this way. It's like it came into contact with something as it meandered around the Underdark or the transition between the Underdark and this sort of underground area. And because of that, there's sort of like an aura
could have ever
of
pulled.
like darker necrotic
And
energy
I'm going
coming
to
off of it.
attempt
So
to
it's dangerous
hide
even
as
to
a
walk
level
in there
9 rogue.
until this kind of
An attempt
energy
to
field
hide in
decays.
plain sight.
You at the
But
very
with
end of
the
the last
addition
session, those of you down on
of
the
just
clockwork
staring
tier
somebody
made an
dead in
appeal
the
to
eye
one of the gemstone wardens
as I
to see if he
turn
could meet with the
both my
queen.
skin
And he
and
said, "Well, I have no
hair
jurisdiction over
and my
the reception
armor
hall, but I'll
all
see what I
into
can
the
do." And he
colors
had
of the
wandered off
things
to
around
talk
me.
to the chamberlain or one of the other attendants and see if he could get you guys in there to meet with the queen and talk about some important stuff. Meanwhile, on the 10th tier
That's
of
not a good
Gaim,
omen.
back up where Four Guys
need that
Ventures and
advantage.
Vibes is, there's a
Okay.
little bit of a gang turf war going on. There are 3
Okay,
major
so-
gangs. There's the
all
Dead
right.
Eyes, who we've not
They're
really
not-
encountered.
they're not
They're on the
good,
other side
right?
of the tier. There's the Red
Like-
Vipers, who are pushing right up against that 3rd gang's territory, which is Four Guys Ventures and Vibes, the dungeon delving company started by our
They're
heroic
no
party.
level 20 ranger, right?
Fox got captured by the Red Vipers, but managed to sort of talk his way out of the situation
well,
by
yeah,
attempting to sort of like broker a solution for all parties, where the Red Vipers wanted territory that Four Guys occupies.
Psych, it's a
and
21.
unbeknownst to them, Four Guys is trying
I
to
would
leave.
never roll
So
that.
Fox was like,
Get
I don't
outta
know, I'll
here.
talk it
Fox, more like chameleon. Am I right?
Got him.
course or whatever. And they played it off pretty well. And after a tense standoff on a
I did
bridge in
roll
which
3,
I had
though,
to
the first
conversate with myself as multiple NPCs, we arranged a solution where Four Guys Ventures and Vibes has been given the rest of the day to
feel like
basically
Homer
evacuate
Simpson,
their
like-
territory. The Red Vipers are going to move in. What the Red Vipers don't know is that Fox and the Myconid have chosen to use this as an ambush. So they're actually setting up the Red Vipers as bait for when the Aboleths, who we think are going to attack because they've captured Jeb, they're hoping to use this as bait because Malarkey Circle, where the Four Guys HQ was located, it's on an isolated bridge with only one way over and back. So the thinking is if we can get them and whatever evil forces, private security doing something else, if we can get them all out on that pendant, we can seal them off.
He says something,
and then
he will
maybe
say
come
it
in
anyway.
and
But can I just
accomplish something? I don't actually know what they plan to accomplish. It doesn't sound like they've discussed that part.
And just go.
But maybe they'll just try and kill everyone. I don't know. That's that's heroic. So those are the two different stories that are going on right now.
Okay.
Up on the 10th tier, I'm going to need Fox to make a couple of rolls
right.
because we're going to spend a lot of our time on the first tier, the clockwork tier tonight. But we need to figure out how efficiently
that they had
Four Guys
opened
is able to move out.
and do some
And
hardcore parkour.
we need to
with
figure
one
out
leg.
how effectively they're able to coordinate the various employees
I did get a 20
here.
but it was my better roll.
To
So
Fox rolling on behalf-
disadvantage means I instead got a 15, which ain't half bad.
Many of the items at Four Guys Ventures and Vibes are packaged properly, right? There's a whole armory in the Mike and its vault office. There's a bunch of Wingle digits there. There's stuff like that. So the higher you roll, the more of your things make it safely to their destination. How'd we do? Do I need some tense music? Is that what you're telling me right now? Do I need to get some tension music going on here?
Whoa. We can talk, not with our fists. I
Did you not one?
have a leg. Okay, can you at least let me try to walk? No, you got my arms. What can I do? I listen. You're dolling the one peg. Like I just got it.
Roll in here. It's a pretty
Do you know how
slapdash
expensive
operation
this
trying to get all.
was?
I mean, you've only got until the end of the day. You have no gauge of time other than the beams of light that are coming through the holes that have been drilled into the ceiling above you. So you literally,
got a
to check the
13.
time, you have to poke your head out of the building and look up and see what color the light is. Is it still the nice orangey glow from the sun, or is it a bluer moonlight? And in your rush to get all of this done, some things are going to fall behind. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but some things are going to fall behind.
I
Sure,
respect
that makes
you
sense. Fox
for
would probably have
letting
some
me
priority
loose-
that, like, maybe this
keep
is
some
what
of
you
my
attend
dignity.
to personally.
What's your name?
Cash money. What's it going to be? Well, here are the categories. Four Guys Ventures and Vibes has a number of single-use consumable ciphers. These are things they may be found on the street, and Randy has reverse engineered stuff like that. So it's like a single cast of a spell, and it consumes itself. Four Guys Ventures and Vibes has a buttload of Wingle digits.
Oh, wow.
The
This is
racketeering business is pretty profitable for the Myconid. You are, and I've been using
is a
dice
nice
since you
place you
established
got
Four
here.
Guys Ventures and
You know,
Vibes to
there's-
figure out your
and
earnings.
you know what? I
and you are
love
up
the
in the
broken glass
50,000 Wingle
boutique.
digit range.
They say it's coming back.
That's somewhere in that neighborhood. That's the rough estimate looking into the pile of Wingle digits in that room. Expensive items.
Sorry.
So there's
I sometimes forget
Fox
Fox isn't with us
everything
all the
from
time.
gang
I'm used
tier
to
weapons.
having
You've
him
only
around.
just recently been
it's
donated
also
18
like
bats.
Laerdus is here, so
Things
there is a
wrapped in
fourth
barbed
body
wire.
here, so
But
I could
then
see
that
like out
also
of the
scales
corner
the
of
whole
your
way up
eye,
to,
perhaps.
Fox recovered some of the rifles of Ice Shard
but,
way
yeah,
back
anyway.
when,
Yeah,
and some of the more sophisticated weapons
and then the
that you've
darkening
retrieved.
happened, and sort of
So
everyone's
those things are
vibe
also in
sort
your
of dimmed,
armory,
and, like,
along with
we were all
some
just kind
different
of sitting
shielding
around one
items.
day. I was
There's
in the
some
library
different
reading
leather studded
legit
armors
holy
and some half
text
plate
for
and things like
who
that.
God knows how many other times I've read it.
So there's those. And then there's
I just,
also
like,
paperwork and
I want to
documents
go figure
is
out
the
what
other
happened.
category.
I want to go find Kelnor. I want to.
And that would be
Where did
all
magic
of
go?
the
Find some
all the
answers.
information
So,
that comes in.
Fox
Copious
came
notes
to me
have
and
been
he was
taken.
like, "Hey
And
man,
so
I'm leaving
all
town."
of that
And I'm
information
like, "I'll
could
come
now
with you."
potentially give
Yeah.
away what have you been doing,
That-
what are
and-
your
and
intentions.
now it's led
what
us
do
to
you
here, which I'm
know,
sure,
What do you suspect?
thinking about
what
it, I'm
are your
sure
next
Fox
moves
left for
likely
different
to
reasons.
be?
I think he said that
maps
before,
of all the
and Alan will
locations
kind
that
of
you've
smirk a little
already
bit,
scouted,
but-
places you're
but
planning
in
to
a
go.
way,
All
it
that kind of
sounds
stuff
as
is
though
in
an
there.
Alan will kind of
With a
like gesture
7,
to
you
both
can only
Zoth
pick one of
and
those categories
Radford and
to
be like,
see
well, it sounds
to
like in some
personally.
ways you
Okay,
guys have
there's just too much going
very
on
similar
and too much
kind of
rush
quests that
for
led you to
Fox
this
to
point.
be everywhere.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, you can.
There's just
I think you should take.
I don't know. I had a. You believe in bad omens?
Just me.
Yeah,
just
man,
take
I
me.
do.
I think, especially after all we've been through and seen, I'm much more open to believing anything at this point.
Well, I'm on a special mission. A special mission to find the avatars, and I'm looking for Kay, and I found him.
You found him?
Well, kind of. See, I travel a lot, and I've been around a lot of different places many years, and when the darkening happened, I spent the next couple years
The voice that wants the information definitely
watching
be
the
Alan.
sky and tracking things, and I found one of his ships.
Really?
Yeah, good news and bad news. I was able to bring it back home and figure out where it landed. It was damaged.
Where was that?
DM, did we ever determine, did the society ever, like, determined exactly where it was? Yeah. Yeah, so it's on a mountain, an icy
I
cold
like the
mountain.
premise that Zoth just make an
back
appearance.
where,
Like she'll
near
raise
where
a
I'm
Zoth
from.
is off smoking somewhere.
But it's all messed up. It's lodged in the side of the mountain, and I'm not sure if it's going to be
Just
buoyant, but
on
it
Fox's
definitely needs to
shoulders,
be
there's
worked
like an
on.
Alan
Is
and a
Kay
Jeb who are
there?
arguing, and in the
Like, is
background,
Kay on
Zoth
the
is just
ship?
like at
Oh
Fox's
no,
neck.
no! This is like one of his side barges.
Interesting.
One that because we would all like converge. Kay's ship, his ship never came down, but these little barges would often go off and resupply, and then come and dock and bring deliveries back to his
If we could
Bro.
go
Alright,
there
we're
and fix
focusing
it
on the
up, maybe it would be
cash.
easier to
Good
find
to
it.
know. Let me make a quick note of that, and
is
we'll make our
quite
next
well
roll.
idea.
And he points at Owl, and he's like, "That's where I'm hoping you come in. You came highly recommended, and I've been traveling a while, and I guess I got here a
Okay,
little bit before
the
you.
next thing that I'll need you to
So
roll
while I was
is a
waiting,
stealth
just decided to
how well will the
help your
things
little
that Four
company
Guys
out.
Ventures and Vibes move hidden,
That
and more
is
importantly, can you cover the tracks
Extremely
of where
intriguing. That, and you say it's, where are you from?
yeah.
I would say for flavor, just to like help the Laredith's like the fact that we're escorting Laredith, Alan is gonna inconspicuously try to stand. He's a big-bodied man.
We got
He's gonna try to
mods.
stand in between any crowd
16.
and like where Laredith
That's
is.
a pretty
Not like
decent stealth
conspicuously
effort.
like I'm covering up someone you shouldn't see, but
to
just
your-
generally so that
to
he can
your
kind of be in the
abil- like, to your
in the line of
estimation,
sight between
given
people.
the fact that not
so that way it's not
everyone
like
here
obvious
working
if there's
with
some
you
bad
is a
guy
rogue,
there that's
they
like,
have taken
"Hey,
your
I
advice
know
the best
that
that you can
kill
expect
her."
lay
Yeah,
people to
exactly.
take in
Bodyguarding.
terms of covering their tracks, getting things moved safely out. The way that the arrangements have been made is that there are several residential buildings that are on the outer wall of the 10th tier and belong to employees of Four Guys Ventures and Vibes who, most importantly, you had not met before you arrived here. Only the Myconid knows them, so Jeb couldn't give away their locations. The stuff has been moved to those homes for safety.
Ooh, gotta hit the lotto today because I got a lucky 7 on the die, which means with my insight of a whole +1, that's a nat 20.
We're going to need a straight charisma check to determine how this goes over with the people Myconid is supposed to be protecting, and you're going to need to roll it at disadvantage. Four Guys Ventures and Vibes has been providing paid protection from the Red Viper gang, collected payment today, and then rolled out of town. They're like moving out, and the Red Vipers are going to move in. That's a pretty bad public image.
But,
And Fox, the ever-present face of the party, is going to try and talk them down, explain that the situation's important without giving away the fact that practically these people are just bait for an evil extra-dimensional monster that's going to try and kill them all.
classy, like it. Office, yes. Very professional. Oh, yes. I love the name. Very short, concise, to the point.
You can re-roll it. That's fine. All right. So is it a 13 total, or what's your charisma mod?
Oh, straight down to business. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is surgically attached.
Jake,
Yeah.
Jake, you're going to roll a d20 with advantage.
But it's attached to via the soul.
Trevor's going to roll a d4 with advantage. And the sum of those two rolls is how hard it is to persuade these people that it will be okay. Basically, to prevent, a reputation rebellion
my stump
from happening.
leg in an attempt to kick Shadow Walker into the ceiling and embed him in the ceiling. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so a total of
It depends
8.
on
Fox
whether
has
okay.
rolled higher than that. Fox is like, we take
What's your
those?
intent here,
Yeah,
Fox?
let's
Is
go.
it to astound or
So,
for practical
Fox,
reasons?
you are able to smooth things over by
Combat
explaining
reasons.
that although the Red
good
Vipers
question.
don't know this,
It's a
this move out is
panic.
temporary in order
I feel like
to
if it's a
get
panic,
rid
then
of the
it
Red
goes to
Vipers
his
once
first
and for
instinct,
all,
which is
and
roguish
achieve something
instincts.
that will make it so that they don't need to pay
Yes.
protection anymore.
I agree.
Because you don't tell them this, but if you can get rid of the Aboleths, there will be nothing they need protecting from by Four Guys Ventures and Vibes the Gang. Like, you can go back to just being a business, doing business in the world. So that's basically the way you
How
sell it to
high
them,
are
and
we
it goes over
talking?
great. Wash, can you think of any other logistics of the Four Guys
know better.
kind of tactical retreat that
I
need to
got
be
a
covered?
24.
We've made sure we got the items that are important to us. We've covered our tracks in terms of getting them out of there. We've handled our reputation with the people. What about the setup? What kind of role do you think we would use to set up the details of our ambush? Basically the Ocean's 11. When the bad guys show up, based on this roll, you'll get a certain number of. Luckily we prepared
I'm
and
gonna
did
immediately
this
quick
thing.
out. Sorry. You got to understand, it's very dangerous. I think I left my money in the cart. Oh no. Yeah, I have like 2 wingle digits.
We're all broke after the last events.
I don't carry cash anymore.
So maybe it's a two-parter. Maybe it's a two-parter. What do you think, Fox? What are you going to say?
Oh.
This is not a performance check.
Inspiration to the man with one leg.
But here's what I'm thinking based on what Wash said. And Wash, tell me if you think this is a fair set of rolls. I think this is a two-parter. And I think you're right that one of them is going to be
I'm not interested in you. I'm sorry. You look very handsome.
Based check to tell people what the plan is. And I think probably that one is persuasion
said I have
because
to
you're trying to
pay
leave
another-
a plan in people's minds that
I
compels them
embarrassed
to
myself.
action.
I am
So there's a persuasion check to
sorry.
get the employees on board, and then I think there is an intelligence survival check because survival is what you use to set like
In a
bear
manner of
traps and stuff.
speaking.
But this is going to be a much more heady ambush. What do you think? All right. So
All
those
right.
are your 2 checks. And this is a sliding scale, not a pass-fail. So the higher you roll, the more good
I think you
things
have
I'll
a
give you when the time
misconception
comes
here,
to spring
all right?
your trap.
Look at me. All right. You should know my trade by now. Do I look like somebody who's
Okay.
tied down by an organization? Or
All right.
perhaps somebody who works for money for whoever pays? Yeah. They pay me. And now I'm done. Well, I gotta go.
Okay.
It's a courtesy. It's a courtesy. Yes, help them move my payment along. Ah! Okay, hear me out. 12. Which I want you to know is the lowest I can roll without rolling a nat 1. You know, I gotta say, you've got me. You got me pegged on that one. But I will say, if I'm really that vestedly interested in this, right? Why would I do this for you? Like, it just... If I'm really that loyal as you say I am, why would I then get my leader beat up? Like, you're not connecting the dots. Yeah, but I've lost a leg already? Do I look vulnerable and stuff? Not after kicking a sword. I'm gonna sit up straight. Wait. I'm gonna do a. Can I kick flip up with one leg?
All right.
I want to land. It's a straight
12
up
to
acrobatics
persuade
or performance, but I want
to
like
explain the plan to
I'm gonna go like
Forgav
out of the chair,
employee
but land on my
slash
one
mercs
leg and then put my hands
who
on
will
his
help
desk.
with the ambush. Okay. Those are the roles.
You do
the
that. You
groundwork
just do
has been
that.
set.
All right. Now, I understand.
Fox, are there any other preparations
looking for
you can think of
territory.
that you want to do before we cut downstairs
And
to
I understand
the
that my
clockwork
company
tier? Is there any other
that
option
I'm a
I
part
haven't
of
given you?
is currently in your way. So instead of perhaps playing, I don't know, this schoolyard game of beating each other up, perhaps I can negotiate a meeting instead and handle this like professionals. Obviously, I'd be your hostage for this meeting.
Okay.
And that would then
Yeah.
obviously...
Yeah, the Myconid's already
just
got a
need to
map,
find
so you
a
don't need to
neutral
draw the
ground
map. So
to
we're going to
meet.
focus on your
I
ability
can't
to take
lure
in
him
information.
into a place where
and
your
for
goons could
that,
be lurking right around the corner, obviously.
We're
So
gonna
that's
go
why
with,
I think
we're going to go with perception.
your idea
I was
might
thinking
need
about like a
some
nature survival
work.
type thing, but you've
But
already
I can
done
at
some
very
survival. So we're
least
going to go perception
negotiate
for
a
you
meeting
to
where we might
basically
actually,
connect
I
the
don't know,
dots
get something
and,
done.
you know, to basically find flank points and
Because I'm going to be honest with you,
like, weak
that
spots
first
in your
plan,
ambush plan.
it needs a little work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a 13.
15
Yes.
to identify weaknesses in the plan and likely if they come from the
Okay,
10th tier, you've got a
obviously,
good idea of where the choke
You're not
points
going to
are
let
and
me
how to
just
handle it.
waltz back in without some sort of collateral. So let's think of collateral. All right. How about this? I can tell one of your people to go and give a certain passphrase. And then as long as you send somebody that you think can set it up and not f- it up, then I'm sure we'll have a meeting at, I think there was like some bar at that place you talked about. I'm sure we could all meet there.
And
Can I roll sleight of hand to be what Mobius loop and just damn it. All right. Okay.
and you know
I
what
will
that
say
means?
this: be careful
It's
to
a story
known
time
to
at the
break
Winged
lesser
Tavern, and we'll be
minds.
right back.
And I take it off very
Do
carefully
you remember when this made noise?
with effort, and
I
then
wonder why it's
gingerly
not.
place it down on his
Oh,
desk.
okay. Now it makes noise. Spotify.
It never does. 14.
Spooky.
Damn it.
That's what this one's going to be called.
I shrug it off.
Yeah, it's so new. Let's meet our players for the evening, shall we? We'll go top to bottom.
Ah.
What do you think? Is this something you're interested in doing?
Short answer is yes. Extremely so. I think that finding K will be an extremely valuable part of what we need to do here in this mission. Especially,
Wait, what mission? Like, what's your mission?
well, I don't know if you've...
I thought you were just like owners.
Well, yes, but you mentioned, your quest to find the avatars and, to learn what happened about the darkening. Has told you about what we found out beneath Tumbleweb and kind of the goal, the mission statement beyond the actual mission statement that we have in our charter, what our real mission statement is?
Nah. That scruffy little guy really keeps his cards close to his chest.
Well, and Alan's gonna kind of like look back to the rest of the elevator and kind of be like, well, we already have Laredith here, and trusts him, and we're already talking about this stuff. So it's like, well, we have found a plot. The plot that started that created the darkening, and that its goal is to eliminate magic completely from the world and to cast it completely into darkness. And the only way to stop these aboleths that are attempting to do this is to free the avatars, and find the pieces of the Rod of Seven Parts, and use them to banish these aboleths and bring magic back to the world. They have many of the avatars, or I guess only one that we know of now, Do Bumblefoot, captured, and they're siphoning magic off.
Ooh. Well, you'd be good to know that I have found and met 2 other avatars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Which two?
I was instrumental in meeting Garlel and Cetonia.
Garlo,
And I told them my plight about Kay, and they were the ones that they gave me your names, and they said,
oh,
in my great quest to find the avatars, that I should seek you out. So I'd be happy to, let you guys in on my quest here, seeing as though I've found 2 and I'm already looking for one more, and have a good lead on one.
who is that?
Okay.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I thought perhaps you also had another lead on another avatar.
Are you sure you're a Renchi?
Yes, I'm sorry. Sometimes my brain goes to other things, and I, get
it's the elevation.
sidetracked.
It gets a little hard to breathe down here.
Yes, I'm not as well. You would think after spending so much time even in the Underdark that I would be used to depths such as these, but it's...
Ooh, you've been to the Underdark.
Well, yes. We found some of the mining stations that the aboleths were using to extract this magical mineral from the earth, and using it to store up this magic that they were siphoning. And it's actually the fundamental ingredient of Wingle Digits. Wingle Digits are a huge
Monster.
part.
It's a troll that's been infected by some kind of soul rot. Bradford and Zothkug are waiting for one of the gemstone wardens to return after he's gone off to try and arrange a meeting with the queen. You see him now on his way back, accompanied not by royalty, you're fairly confident,
Yes,
nor
thank you.
queen, because he is accompanied by a man who looks probably as old as you've ever seen anyone look. He's a dragonborn,
onward.
stooped. He's, got a little cane, and mounted to the top of his cane is a slate tablet with a little, chisel attached. Sort of white ceremonial.
Do we think
Dibs on the left. So anyway, you got these papers, right?
Alan's gonna kind of like look at Laredith and kind of be like, well, do you think you might count as papers of appointment?
Looks not particularly pleased, and the gemstone you accompanied by this person and says, yes, Politico, this is the people I spoke to you of. They wish to meet with the queen regarding something to do.
Well, even in the proximity of Zothkug's staff of wisdom, rod of wisdom. No, yeah. That may be enough in this case.
I think I have some. And he digs through his bag. Do I have any? I actually do not have any paper.
Alan, I remember listening to an older episode at one point. Alan intentionally bought a notebook, so Alan has a notebook. Okay. Sure. Can Alan do some brain math and think about, okay, 400 years. Does that mean it's probably not the same Queen of Gaim that Laredith knows? Okay.
Could I assist or also roll history? Because I was talking to Caitlin a lot and maybe. Okay. Perfect.
I'm gonna give Laredith a brownie.
I got a 19 to assist.
So that means I get double advantage. Let's go. Because I only got an 11. Okay, 21. Thank you for the double advantage. Ah. Okay, that'll put Alan a little bit more at ease, and he may even actually ask, just to double check, if the last time you were here was 400 years ago, did you meet the Queen of Gaim more recently than that? Oh, perfect. That makes a lot more sense. Sweet. Ah. That makes a lot of sense. Alan's gonna kind of look back at Radford. And do you have much experience in this lowest tier? Like, have you been in this situation before?
Have I been down here before, DM? No. Yeah, and I think Radford probably would have stuck to the tops just to like, because that's where he's been working, and he's just been waiting on Alan. No, not really. Every once in a while, I'll like go out on a bridge and peek down and just kind of people watch for a while, but you can't really see down this far too well anyway.
Sure.
Do you know what the normal process for seeing gaining audience with the royalty is?
No, he's gone back to work with the Gemstone Guardians. But what you could do is one of you may roll an insight check to try and determine what are sort of.
So we're gonna be taking the queen by surprise, essentially. But
At minimum, we could at least probably gain an audience with Caitlin, maybe.
Who's that?
X.
We shall see. I just hope that this goes well and we're able to find a safe spot for you to recover, because, and then Alan will kind of look at Radford and Zoth and kind of be like, because it sounds like our upcoming journeys will not be exactly restful.
Alan, give me a piece of paper. I have a backup plan.
Alan's gonna tear out an extra piece of paper,
find a new talent.
give it to Zoth.
And where is he going to find that? So that's like the one that seems to be really close to his heart.
Yes, that's why it's very, this process of warning all of our allies and relocating our base of operations, I think,
uncle's pretty funny.
is quite important.
Tells
As
great
well
jokes.
as I really appreciated, I don't remember whose idea it was. Perhaps it was Fox's, the idea to perhaps lie in wait at our old place of business and try to glean some sort of information or perhaps set a trap for the Aboleth's forces. I think that will be quite helpful to us as well, but we shall see. Alan will kind of like nod to Laredith. Oh, okay. And then Alan's gonna like act like very official, like yes, this was meant to happen, and hand the papers that Laredith forged. This has been an appointment a long time coming. Alan's gonna look at Laredith and kind of say, a long time. Pardon me if this is overstepping, but I don't believe that the Queen will want to miss an appointment with an avatar 200 years in the making.
Politico.
That is correct.
Do you wish me to evaluate the funny man before coming to fetch you? Thank you, sir. It turns and shuffles purposefully back towards the palace. The camera zooms back slowly from there and then whips and zooms in more slowly, zooms in more quickly to Radford, who has walked off into the crowd. Radford, what are you doing? Radford pushes through the gates of the palace and back out to where the line is. Yeah, you certainly can. A 14, you would know the signature smell of Four Guys Ventures and Vibes Magic Bean Burritos anywhere. And you haven't been in town that long, but you've been in town long enough to know that. And you follow the scent, and sure enough, you come across one of those pillars that has the opening in it where, food gets stored. And on the ground in front of it is a magic bean burrito. It appears to have been discarded. There are no bean burritos in the in the storage container in the pillar, but there is a bean burrito here on the ground. I mean, it was dropped on the ground, but the clockwork. There's probably one opening is like transformed into a taco yet. Okay, you unwrap it and take a bite. As you unwrap the foil that's around it and you take a bite, your teeth pass right through it and the whole thing vanishes from inside the foil. As you do so, the smell too goes away. Yeah. You don't know a whole lot about like the magic-y stuff, but you've been around Four Guys enough that you've heard Randy talk about it sometimes. And while a lot of it goes over your head, he's been talking for a while about trying to make some kind of device that will cast the spell Major Image. And so you've heard him talk about it a couple times where, you know, it's an illusion that is convincing enough that it can create more than one sensory output, not just sight or just smell, but something that could be pretty convincing until you literally pass through the illusion and it becomes dispelled. And this seems like it lines up with what he was saying. No, you don't see FP anywhere, but you can roll a survival check to look for any kind of tracks or indication of where the dropper of this burrito might have gone. You are not able to come across any tracks. Yes. Yes, Radford knows about the aboleths in an abstract sense. He does not know much about the powers of the aboleths, but... Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, so you've heard about the aboleth.
This is quite interesting.
It is quite impressive, and Alan's going to be looking around, and kind of even as they're like being moved on these conveyor belts and on these rotating parts, he's going to be like sometimes kind of just like crouching down and like examining trying to examine the machinery that's like moving them around. And like he's kind of like, you know, previously on those other levels he was like trying to like keep eyes off of Laredith and stuff, and now that he's kind of made the gamble to tell this guy that it is Laredith, he's kind of just like, well, we're here now, I'm really interested in this, and kind of like eyes darting everywhere, just like really taking it all in.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Whoa.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. So go ahead and roll your choice, investigation or survival, with advantage because you're leading into your expertise here. And before you tell me what your role is, I'm going to cut back to Zoth and Owlin, who have at this point in the timeline just about finished their conversation with Wigbert and are now, that's the name of that Politico, Wigbert the Politico, and have realized, I assume, that Radford wandered off. So you are there with Laredith, who I am now playing, and that's the situation. What should we do next? Yeah, they're still working. They're over kind of investigating the rot troll. They're setting up a little perimeter, and a couple of the wardens are trying to reroute the line so that people can get back into the reception hall to continue seeing the queen and making requests. Yeah, the warden who went to fetch the Politico. Yes. What can I do for you?
Can I stop by the fortune teller?
So you need us to. Long will that take? I'm sure we can find somewhere to store it by then. And he looks over to, and starts to discuss it with his fellow gemstone wardens. They have a couple different ideas. They eventually land on the barracks. There's like a whole basement area with like a training room in the barracks. And they're like, yeah, we can just clear some space there and still maintain the safe radius.
Is that because I have one leg, or you?
And so they begin kind of wrapping it up and packaging it. They establish a perimeter around it and begin moving it down the streets. Alan, do you need to do anything before they move out with that? Okay. Yes, the verticulators are fairly slammed during this time of year. The harvest celebration, of course, coming up. Let me see what I can do for you. And he walks over and talks to the like gemstone guardian, the big dude who's wearing like the Jasper armor and is clearly in charge. And he walks over to you and holds out a gauntleted hand and says, "Hello, travelers. My name. I'm the the gemstone guardian for the 9th tier, and I understand that you're helping us with some research regarding this troll here. The best way for you to get back down here in a hurry is to show one of these to the Verticulator attendants." And he hands you a medallion that's it's got the gemstone guardian's logo kind of embossed in it, and on the back engraved in it, it says, "This citizen is about the business of the gemstone guardians." He says, "If you show them this, you will be moved into a priority position at the line. The only people who have a higher ranking token than this are the politicos themselves, the royal family, and soldiers who may be on deployment will be given a special token that will give them precedence over you. Besides that, you can skip through every line." Of course. Thank you for your service. And he turns around and walks off to help escort the rot troll back to the gemstone guardian.
I can taste it and I hate it.
It's got a unique flavor. It is quite a mystery where that flavor comes from, that's for sure. I set down the teacup.
That's okay. Statistically speaking, it would be a good idea for me to continue walking, as this gives my muscles the highest chance of rejecting atrophy. Yeah, you saw him leave and he pointed in a direction. So, yeah, he told you he was leaving, and he.
I'm gonna have to mark that one down on a notebook real quick. Hide lavender in mouth. Go on.
A set of tools that you don't really recognize. And he's looking at the ground. He has been, as a reminder to our listeners, rolling an investigation or a nature check. And what did you roll, Radford? Unnatural 20. Nice. You are able to identify FP's footprints, except there's something wrong. FP, as a battle-scarred construct, has a very distinctive sort of gouge in one of his feet where a piece of shrapnel hit him during an explosion. These prints don't have that.
Wow, this is...
More than that, there are 4 sets of them, not 1. from this area where the burrito, the
go.
fake burrito was dropped on the ground, the fake street burrito as chat called it, which I love, where
breathing.
that was dropped on
I'm
the
breathing.
ground, they diverge in different directions, and they appear by their gait to be moving fairly quickly.
Wow. That. Ooh. That is. See, I told you. Ooh. This is a good bit. Chosen one motif. Yeah. You're doing great.
We whip pan upstairs to the 10th tier where Fox is attempting to explain his ambush plan to the pedestrians with his 12 performance and his 6 survival on the plan. Fox is attempting to explain to the ruffians. You want to give us a little
Bravo.
preview of Fox trying to convey to,
Bravo.
these are just like normal
That-
blue collar
that-
workers, how his
That was
complex
a
ambush
masterful
works.
performance. Can I roll insight on that? I rolled a nat 1.
We whip pan back down to the first tier of Gaim and rejoin our conversation.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so how much do you normally charge for this? Like I said, I'm broke, but let me give you some good I guess I'll leave a tip. How about that? So far it's great. You've got
Yes.
the unsettling part good, not gonna lie, pretty good with that. The lavender's a little too much. I do like the smoke effect from the mouth though. That was on point. And you might, maybe, I don't know, you might want to find a different place if you want more through traffic. I don't think you see a lot of traffic through here. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
No, I have not met this person.
I'm sorry. I'm already out. Bye. Nice meeting you. Man, it's been a while since those got to me. All right. I'm gonna go on to malarkey, I guess.
What do you mean they are not his?
Passphrase.
Ah. Yeah, so in Tumbleweb,
Yeah,
in
but it
the
would've
season 1
looked
finale,
cool.
when you had like a whole room full of constructs, FP was one of them.
Can I do a perception check to see if anybody followed me all the way here? Yeah. I just figured, but thought I would at least double check. I got a 10. Okay. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody was out there and it would have looked cool. All right, give some mystery. All right, just let me in. Oh, about that. See, you have such great neighbors that they took my leg and my bangle, little magical bangle thing, and they want to talk with you. They were very insistent on that part. Well, see, I kind of told them that. Well, first of all, they
Yes.
just wanted to beat you up. Now, I was telling them, you can take my other leg, but there ain't no way I can sell that. So I managed to convince them not to take my other leg. I'd still be wary, though. But I did negotiate as me being... Well, I was collateral until I convinced them to not take me as collateral. Totally did that.
You can wear weapons. You just have to also be clothed
and,
properly. Like,
now
you know,
we're
what matters
supposed
to
to
them is
meet
not showing any
'em
skin.
at
FP as
the
a
bar.
construct, not having a whole
You
lot
know,
of skin, probably
right
not
before
a huge
Red
deal
Viper
for him.
territory. Yeah. Rumbly, that's what they called it. Oh, they want, like, completely ridiculous, like, it's not even worth entertaining except for the fact that I'm missing
Okay.
the thing that I just replaced my leg with. And
Okay.
territory. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll an insight check with advantage.
Well, they don't know that yet. And you don't want to just hand it to them. This is a negotiation.
on a on a natural 20, you not only know that this one was dressed
See,
wrong to
they
be
don't
FP,
realize you're leaving.
it was only because you saw out of the corner of
Right?
your eye, so it could have been FP.
So,
this creature was, or this construct was
if
only
you make
wearing
it seem like, wow,
commoner's
this is a
clothes.
hard
But
deal.
now that you think about it,
You know, you
what you
butter
saw out
them
of the
up,
corner of your
make
eye
them
only
feel
makes
good about
sense
it,
if there were 4 of them.
Maybe
like,
we can...
you can remember seeing all 4
Well,
of the
first one, we get 'em
constructs
off my
walking
back.
together. And
But in reality,
you can
nothing,
remember
because
it's
you're
kind
gonna
of
be
like a
leaving
photographic
anyway.
memory. Like you go into the Mind Palace, you're
Unless
watching the scene
we
again
wanted
play
to
out
go
in
with
front of
plan
you in
B.
slow motion.
Did we
One
ever
of them is
decide if we
holding.
wanted to do
One of
plan
them is
B?
holding the burrito.
I guess
One
we
of
never
them
really
has
did.
the same sign that
Or we
FP
could just
normally
beat 'em
carries
up.
that says "Four
I'm
Guys
willing to
Ventures and
just
Vibes
flip
Magical
that
Bean
script on
Burritos."
them.
The other two
you
were
know,
not
use this
carrying
as like a
those.
bait and switch
The other
hideout.
two
That's right. We
had
can still do that even if it is their
ciphers
territory.
installed into their arms, and several of them were glowing and active at the time that they were walking past. That kind of orange glow that indicates that a cipher has been activated and a spell is being cast at that time. More than that, you are able to kind of remember, based on where they were looking, that one of them saw you, which is why they dropped the burrito and moved, but the others appeared to be all looking up. As you look up, you can see the tail end of something that has used up, going from like rock I
can't tell if there's
to
a
rock
plan
crevice.
behind that.
They are leaping up the walls, kind of very quickly moving.
How did
And
I
you
not
can
connect the
remember
dots?
now, again on this nat 20, you're thinking back on your
Wow.
history with FP, you're trying to pick up clues. You can
Sorry,
remember that
being
FP
mugged
said
by
there
a
were
bunch
several
of teenagers
classes
really
of
was really
construct
getting to me.
that
So, oof. Price, yeah, no. Let's do it. I would really like my leg back. That's we have to get my leg back. And the bangle.
and had all kinds of like relays and information in it where it could transmit that data back to a waiting group of constructs or others. And as you're watching them jump away,
Okay.
you can see the distinctive antenna that FP mentioned to you.
You understand. We're
each
on
of
the
their
same
backs.
wavelength, all
These
right? I
there
like
are
this,
4
yeah.
scout class constructs acting on behalf of the Aboleths, you are certain, who are currently scaling the walls at like breakneck speed. They're probably covering the 150 feet in like a minute, per
Was this your
tier.
influence?
So it's probably about 10 minutes before they hit the 10th
was
tier
this your
if they
influence?
are going
Did you do
to the
this?
10th tier.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. We need to... Yeah. I need to come to the office more often. Is what I'm figuring out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you see, you made a mistake there. You should have taken the territory. Oh, that was your mistake.
I hate to break it to you, but that's actually 135 feet of
No,
movement.
I said you
I know
should
that's going to be a
have.
big
Sorry,
bummer
I know
for you.
I
I'm
have
sure
a bit
you
of a
feel very
list
let down.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It happens.
So,
All right, just because you're
they're
cool,
okay. So
all right,
you are
doesn't
definitely
mean
able
you
to
have
catch
the
up with them
right-
because the speed I just gave them puts you like 5 rounds faster than them in movement based on this move speed. Unfortunately, they are split. There's one on each of the walls. So you're gonna go up your pillar and then make your jump. Your step of the wind will be to catch up to one of them. It doesn't matter which one. I'm just explaining that the others are going to outpace
You said there's an attendant
So
there?
you leap and you use your step of the wind. Describe flavor step of the wind for me. What's it look like when you leap off the pillar and you get to the wall?
Excuse me, sir. Would it be possible to have a letter sent to one of the royal family from here? Well, I just meant in general. It doesn't have to be you necessarily, just that process. Well, not mail. I meant have something. Do you know how long it would take to arrive? That's not.
Is this a normal pace?
Like hands at his
is this the
side,
normal
kind of
pace
like
for
a
the
pencil
line?
dive type thing.
Is this?
That's awesome.
This is the line
gracefully
for
arcs
audience,
through
correct?
the air. I love it. And sure enough, you land with one. What are you going to try and do? I guess that's your whole
for example,
turn, basically. Is all
based on
those
your
movements.
experience, at the point that we are
So
in the
you
line,
catch
how
up to
much
it.
longer
It
do we
is
have
going
to
to-
wait?
It is going to try and shake you off. Chat has granted a boon, which will play out right after this interaction because this is all kind of simultaneous. So you catch up to it, and it's going to, as you leap towards it, you can see that the scout class constructs have an omnidirectional set of glass sensors, so it can see you coming because it can see in all 60
They,
degrees.
like, as
And
in,
as
We can
you are
help move
coming,
that along.
It a little flap in
I
its
guess-
back opens, and you can see a net shoots out of it to try and entangle you as you leap towards the wall. This is one of its defense mechanisms. You are in the air, but you're also using a key ability, so you are in full control of your body right now. So
And-
there's
and
not
it
going to be
seems as
like a
though there are
Can you
disadvantage
describe
that
these
normally there would be
symptoms?
for a creature moving through the air. But I do need you to roll a dexterity save with a DC of 15
Like normal save?
to avoid being entangled and hindered by the net.
6 symptoms.
and it seems as though these monsters that have been found, they may be the cause.
24, yeah. So the net comes at you and you're already in your little elegant dive. So you just, you kind of twist in such a way that it like misses you as it unfurls, and it kind of comes loose as it passes you, bounces harmlessly off the pillar, and sure enough, you land like right up against it.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
going to say
sure
you're
that is
able to
quite
catch on as
frustrating.
it's moving. I'm not going to make you roll.
And so
but
the
in
reason
future
that it's
turns, I'll
held
make
up,
you roll
you
to
think is
continue
because the
your
queen
grip
is
or to
meeting
do
with the
anything.
gemstone guardians to talk
We
about
cut
this
back
issue?
down to the ground now, where as he's sprinting up the wall towards them, Laredith says, I took a few things from your company's storehouse. These may aid you. And she holds out a few potion bottles.
So if this is the line to have audience with the
Beside
queen,
these potion
what
bottles,
specifically would be
there
causing the holdup
is
then?
gold whizzing in circles inside of a otherwise clear potion. And she says, according to Randy, these should grant you the benefits of the jump spell. So
Alan's gonna
you
turn.
each-
Alan's gonna turn back to Laredith and Zoth and just be, and Radford, and just say, I think that he's correct in that there are strange things happening at this moment, but I I don't know if the monsters are directly linked. I don't know if there's a way that we could get there faster. Radford, you know this place marginally more than us. Do you have any ideas?
It is 1 minute, and you're jumping. When you are jumping vertically, it is 3 plus your strength modifier if you move 10 feet immediately before the jump. So then it's 3 plus your strength modifier. Yep. No, 3 plus your strength modifier. So 3 plus your strength modifier, and then now it will be multiplied by 3 for the jump spell. You will need to be able to, you will probably use athletics to grab, if you're trained in it, to grab hold of, little outcroppings of rock. The walls are not smooth leading up. So you can, it's kind of like really fast climbing.
I was going to
ask.
ask.
What's available to you now.
Can I
Where, you would be
assist?
able to jump, each turn you would get to jump once using the benefits of this spell. And then that, because this is going to be longer than your full movement. So the jump is your move action, and then you would make
got a
an
25.
athletics check to hold
Doctor's
on to
off
the
in
wall,
the
basically
house.
like
I got a
Spider-Man onto it
23.
when
Whoa.
you jump.
2 doctors
And
in the
if
house.
you details that you deserve advantage, like for example, I want to wedge myself between 2 cracks, or I'm going to use a rooftop or something like that, then I could be persuaded to grant advantage. Yes, 1 for each of you. I still 1 for me too. And she bites the cork out of a potion bottle and drinks it, and as she drinks it, beginning at her head and then moving towards her feet, she becomes invisible. Yep. Sure. So
I would
Alan
like to
makes a
try
leap,
and
how high up the wall can
is there
Alan
any
make it on this jump?
any of the guardians that are
3 plus
pushing
strength times
a cart?
3. Okay, so you can jump 18 feet vertically. 18
I would
feet
like
is
to
not
try
your whole
and
move speed.
flag one of them down
you can
as they're
jump
going by.
multiple
Be like,
times
excuse me,
until you've hit your move
I'm
speed, basically
trained
allowing
as
you to
a
move
medic, and I
vertically
think I
as
could
long
be
as you
of
pass the
use in
athletics check
helping
each time to hold
identify
your grip
these
on the wall.
creatures and solving your problem. Yes.
Yes. That's fine.
I'm sure I've worked with animals at some point, but probably not as a specialist.
Yeah, you've worked with Rothe.
Yep.
Rothe.
I have worked with Rote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does it.
Oh no.
The wall is a DC 12, so every time you can just tell me whether
I got
you
an
pass or
11.
fail. Okay. So the next one, Alan
They rolled
jumps,
a
he tries to grab a
Foxlow.
hold and misses it. He falls half that distance and grabs hold. So he's about 40 feet up the wall. About 20 feet up the wall. You are moving at the same
I'll just
pace
pull
as
out
the
a bunch of like
constructs
the
who are
medicine
leaping
gear that I
up the wall
have, so
ahead
like
of
I'll
you.
have
So
all the med
if you
kits and
make both of
everything.
these jumps, then you would
I
be
don't have
keeping
an
even with
official
them. They're now
license.
starting to
I'm
pull
a
away
lot
from
of
you.
self
And they're beginning with a pretty hard.
Radford walks up to him and says, "Doctor, it's been a while since you've used your services. This would be a great time for me as your nurse to get some experience. Like, sir, he's absolutely wonderful. He's the best in the entire world. His reputation precedes him in many ways, shapes, and forms. We both detected, a bit of a contagion upon that creature just from very, very far away." And I go to describe some of the symptoms that we found.
No, well, the problem here is not actually that.
Radford and me are going to be homies.
That's a 1.
No, with
And then a
advantage though.
13.
Okay.
The weed from past
14.
magical times, but to get to the upper planes, like with a
Maybe
spell,
me and Radford are
you
not
would
going
need
to
to
be.
restore the actual weave. So you could this. You don't waste the spell slot, but you would have to fix magic before you could call something from the upper planes, or at least
Yes,
fix
and
both
this-
of these two.
woman.
Okay. He feels bouncy.
Mhm.
Go ahead and roll your 2 athletics.
Yes, and it's been a slow process.
She's made a lot of progress.
No, 2 times 3 is 6. You can jump 6 feet. Okay, Zoth, don't bother rolling because they're gonna outpace you really handily. So Zoth is like, maybe he gives it a go and decides to just wait with Laredith or something like that. Yeah.
Oof.
You each have 1.
Hmm.
Yeah. You could just ask where I am, her voice says out of the air. Call me Larry. That's funny. Very good. And she just begins walking kind of in step with you. Sure. So the verticulators, the way that it's going to work speed-wise is you would outpace them to the top tier, but it would take a little while to catch up and draw even with them just from the lines and the machinery and whatever. So you'll basically re-enter this conversation on the 10th tier if we make it that high, or whatever tier you're on when they're caught. We're going to jump now over to okay, yeah, the others are just running. So we're back to Radford.
I'd like
he's
to make a medicine
basically you're riding a construct.
Okay.
So
Can you make it with
go ahead and
advantage because he
do
has
your
his nurse
turn,
there
and
who
then
is trained
based
in
on this
medicine?
action, you'll either need to roll your save to hold on first or at the end of your turn.
I got a 17.
5.
Oh no.
Hmm.
A 28 to hit's gonna hit him. The 28 will do it. Kills him. Okay.
Um,
23.
Is what they have contagious? Like, does it jump from creature to creature? Is that why we
Okay.
stand back?
The creature itself hurts you, or the
Physically,
contagion
or
does?
Was that to hit? AC,
could
unfortunately.
I roll an
The
Arcana
armor
check?
around its core is
Or
is
like
pretty good.
stick
And so
like my pinky
you
finger
hit it,
like
but
close to the aura to
it's
get
just,
a
I mean, it's
sense
thick
of
armor
what's
and you're doing
actually
limp-wristed
happening.
hits.
And then Arcana.
Okay, you're gonna hit him more.
Does
Okay.
this
Okay.
wound look
Let me track his
similar
damage
to the
here real
wound
quick.
that Fox's Shadow
And he
Walker
needs to make another
made
con save.
on one of the what were they? The red vipers, yeah. That wound had a green
Well,
tinge
as
around
the
it.
28 hits, the 29 will also hit. You have some great rolls
Sure.
to hit. Another 9. Great. Confirmed natural 20. As you hit it, I'm
Yes.
going to give him a
And
counterattack
I
to use
got,
against you. So you've been hitting him a couple
18.
of times. The construct is going to... Okay, as you make contact on that last strike, which does hit him, but as you and you even see like a pretty significant dent appear in his casing, he electrifies the steel like basically construction of himself. And so you are hit with some lightning damage. You can make a Constitution save to take half of it. I'm going to roll the damage now. That's 12 points of electric damage. And that's the countermeasure it employs against you. Is that your whole turn? Are you done making actions? Right.
Would I know if like healing magic would work to counteract it? Okay. Hold on. I'm just looking at what spells might
Alan's on a different
with
wall.
greater
But yeah,
restoration.
so you kind of push
since that's
down,
not
like off his shoulders,
necessarily-
basically, like hop off his shoulders to push him downwards.
Would I think that might have an effect? Okay.
Okay. Roll an athletics check to grab
Yeah.
and hold. And I rolled
This
really what
creature
you did
must
is
have
just
come in
cost him one of
contact
his 3
with
jumps next round.
some form
So
of extra
he'll lose a little
planar
bit of speed that way.
entity or energy.
Okay, 16. You are able
That's
to
why
grab
it's
and hold. You're
emanating this
chameleoning onto the
necrotic
wall,
energy from
and
it.
you are just about
I would have
even
to
with the second tier. So next turn, if you
understand
wanted,
the
you could
nature
spend 5
of
feet or
what,
10 feet of movement to pull
where this
yourself up
energy is
onto
coming from in order
like a
to
bridge and begin again, or you
better
could keep running up the wall, whatever
come
your
up
choice
with
will
a
be.
plan that would
But
be
that's
substantial.
where you
Healing
are.
magic. won't
Meanwhile,
run
Alan
it at all.
Woodrier,
I'm
you are
not sure if
continuing
you've
to
tried that
follow
yet,
one,
but-
right? Have we rolled our jumps for this round? Let's do it. Okay.
Okay. Do you know what's causing this?
Okay. Sweet. Very cool. All right. Yep. So he is now. Alan's kind of got the feel for like, okay, here's how the wall is constructed. This is where I'm likely to find holds, and he continues scurrying up.
Are these
making
effects
pretty good
on this
time,
troll? Are they the
tracking
same
his
as what
quarry?
we've seen,
Your quarry
with the
has
miners
reached
that have
and
come out of the
passed
mine
the
shafts
second
feeling
tier,
sick?
as have the 2 on non-pursued ones.
Interesting.
No, they're moving about the same speed as you. It would at least get you to the point where if they make it to the 10th tier, you might catch them before they like do any harm. That is a long pursuit. If you can't think of any way to
What?
speed yourself up
Is
or
there
slow
anything in
them
particular
down,
they've been
then we
mining?
can basically, I'll
Say
just have you roll
Sacrium
once and I'll have them
something
roll once to see
more
like,
magical.
you know, who does a better job of keeping their footing, and we'll adjudicate it that way. And he's not near Zoth.
Okay. Well, other than it being extraplanar energy of the necrotic variety, I can't glean anything else without going to the source.
Wow, that's very Ruby, which makes me inclined to support the idea, but I think probably not. I don't think we have anime physics in this world. We can fall with style. That's monk physics. that's monk physics. Okay, just roll 1 athletics check with triple advantage, and they're going to roll with normal advantage for their athletics check. Okay, you rolled higher than them, so you're going to catch up to this this construct before we hit the 10th tier, and Zoth is going to roll a D4.
Can I
And then
get
5 plus whatever he
the
rolls will tell us
Dragonborn
which
to,
tier you catch up on.
Kind of like help me along a little bit. It's getting tiring walking on one
you catch
leg.
up on
Yeah.
the 9th tier. So that chase is happening. So now we only need to figure out Radford's next move. So Radford, there's a construct below you. You've really you've put a pretty significant dent in the chassis of it, but it is still climbing. And you are ahead of it at the moment. You have your turn before it has its turn. And I think I actually skipped its turn last round, so rip that guy, but that's okay. You are a little ways ahead of it. Yeah, okay, you hit it. Okay. That's on you.
Ooh.
19 damage. The construct, as it is mid leap, it like almost jumps even with you, and you just, as it pulls even, take advantage of the really close proximity to just hit it with a couple kunai, and you actually are able to sever the wires that connect its vision center to its body, and without that, it falls and like crashes. You can make a dexterity save to grab the head, and then an athletics save to maintain your grip on the wall. Jump towards it to catch it. Yeah, so do the dex with advantage because you're leaping towards it, but you're going to do the athletics at disadvantage because now you have to catch the wall three-handed. Or like three.
I proceed to pull out 4 different daggers that I could have pulled out at any moment.
Yeah, 3-limbed. You definitely catch it. Yoink that thing right out of the air. I'm coming to get you, not today. $14. Okay, so you hit the side, and you are still able to successfully run, but when you hit, you lose your first hold.
Sorry,
and you
I just want to
slide a little bit and have to catch yourself on something else. And because of that, you're going to take
I'm gonna like lean in a little
5
closer.
points
Still keep in mind
of piercing damage as you kind of like your hand gets cut up a little bit on the wall.
But lean a little closer, be like,
But you have
man,
you've caught it and you're running, and assuming you don't do anything else challenging on your way up the wall, like this is fine. You can just maintain this.
And let me tell you, that pain was not the cringe that you put me through, but I had to convince my boss to come here. So I hope you understand. All right, and I back up.
Okay, so and you're just going to keep bouncing up the columns now to make the climb? Okay, so you're going to make it up there, but you're not going to catch the other constructs because of the time you spent fighting this one. So 2 of them are going to make it to the 10th tier.
Pretend that
one of
really
them's going to get intercepted by
Alan.
Alan on the 9th tier. And one of them, Radford, has defeated. While this is happening, up in Rumley, safely hidden away with the rest of the 4 guys crew, Zothkug is having a drink.
Boss, you better work this out.
And Jake's about to tell us.
I got a lot riding on this.
Pretty good segue, if I do say so myself. I'm pretty happy with it.
Confirmed.
Yeah, try and figure out how to transition into this thing. Yeah, every scene has a tavern in it just in case. You go into the Aboleth lair and stop by the Starbucks. Dun 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 dun.
I'm gonna whisper to yeah. Yeah, you heard that right. I just stand up and puff out.
Love it. The only way to play, really. We didn't know D&D could be won, but apparently it can, and this is how.
I'm gonna let slip a thought. You better hope that stuff don't hit the floor faster than your head, boy. Sorry, were you talking to me? That's a a modest 17. Right. I take the leader seriously, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, you can handle this, right? I don't know. You're a great negotiator. You seem to like have this insight on this other person that's otherworldly. Perhaps there's this fourth thing that's just you see right through. Of course, that's the insight. You're right. All right. let me just. I guess you know what? Yeah. You'll negotiate what they want. I'll negotiate how we get what we want. Because how they get what they want, I feel like is more your ground. And vice versa is more my ground. So, I'm going to be very, very frank with y'all. I have a really hard time trusting y'all. All right? And this has been very unprofessional. Now, listen. I'll say you've done a good job, right? You built something up from nothing, right? You had to have.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Fox being honest. Like, Red, you run a ship.
Yeah. Is this the
it.
Steam reveal?
All right. I'll give you that much. You exude that. The people around you, I understand you're working with limited resources. They're just not up to the same par you are. But you know what? You can't stop that from happening when you're the boss, all right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be the boss, now would you? Now, I think we can handle this professionally. All right? That cool sword,
That's
as
the
you so put it,
deepest thing I've
isn't a sword.
ever heard.
That is a soul-bonded weapon. Yeah, I'm sure you're very familiar with that. Sadly, not everything fits that definition and is a sword. So I'm gonna. Does he have Shadow Walker? Because he looked behind him. All right.
It felt deep. Might delete later.
You can never tell.
I know the dope bargaining chip,
Now.
but it would ruin it, right? Because then it flips the tables way too quickly. And besides, I need my bangle. All right. So I'm gonna talk to Shadow Walker real quick. Hey, Shadow Walker, and of course I think they can hear me, right? Let's intimidate them.
Yeah. We're gonna jump back into tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session, and we're actually sitting
Shadow
in the
Walker?
top floor tavern where Fox is shooting the breeze with a random
How about
patron.
this?
What are you talking about, Fox?
You've seen, we've been on a journey
That's a
together.
great one. Yeah.
You know the odds and enemies we face. Are a bunch of pups really worth it? Is that
Blimey, I
You
know.
wanna-
I can't believe there's so
you
much
want to be
room on the
known
street. How
as
could this
fighting
even be a
the
problem?
weakest people that we've faced and being proud of that?
No, don't worry. She's not working tonight. No.
I'm not too scared of them.
She's
I'm
playing
just trying not
violin
to
up the
cause
other pub.
trouble for everyone else around me. It's called consideration, Shadow Walker, and I know you're a sword, but
Yeah. So
Come on,
how'd you
buddy.
even come up with boy as they rolled by?
Does the whole
I'm
group
hearing
hear this? Since
yeah,
the
just the one
Thoughtscape?
side. Yeah. 13.
Oh, I love the good stuff. Speaking of the good stuff, let's get some more of the good stuff over here. Meanwhile,
I
outside this
haven't
tavern,
been in battle yet.
scaling the walls at
That wasn't a
breakneck
battle.
speed. Fox, you go ahead. What?
It wasn't a fight to the death.
You're not like drunk. You haven't had that much.
You're right.
But you.
But it
Sure,
wasn't.
okay. You're drunk.
I told
Whatever.
you.
Take 1 point of exhaustion. You look out the window and flying up the walls, you see.
I told you.
Because you
when
just had some stuff to drink, you're
we
not totally
fight,
sure it's
I
real
would
the first
use
time you
you
see it. But
only
you
as
squint
my
over
only
and you're
weapon.
pretty
Have
sure
I
you
used
see a
any other
robot
weapon since?
leap off towards
No.
like one of the pendants out there in the distance and then begin sprinting along one of the bridges towards you.
Yes, that is true. I've been very
See what?
conscious of
he
that.
turns. He was facing away from the window towards you. He turns to look out the window, and
I
it's
told
already out
you
of
I would
sight
only
from there.
use you, and I stick true to that, baby. I stick true to that. And hey, do you want to be known as killer of aboleths? What people whisper?
Where?
Nightmares
He stands
in
up
their
and
dreams
walks
they don't
over to
even
the window to try
understand?
and look around
Or do you
and see if
want to
he can
kill
find
the
it.
bum next door because you looked at you wrong for the rest of your life?
You walk up to the window to try and spot it. You don't
Because
see
that's what
the
you're going to be
construct
stuck
you
with.
just saw. Instead,
and
what
you're
you
in
see
his hands, but in my
is,
hands, you're going to be
Alan
known as
Woodrear.
killing the most evil.
You're like looking down through the
powerful
gap to the next
beings
pendant, and you can see
known
Alan
to
Woodrear
existence.
tackling a construct
even
to the
know what I'm
ground
talking
on the
about.
9th tier. Okay, he's gonna hit it. So Alan is jumping up the wall as he's about to make it to the 9th tier. He
Alright.
leaps like even with this construct.
I bring
whips
him
out
back
a
to my hip.
flamethrower and just this huge gush of fire rushes out, and then he leaps sideways instead of vertically to try and tackle it. Now that he's singed it, he tackles it to the ground. This is going to be a combat we'll come back to in a little bit, Alan. I
right.
see it, but I don't.
Sorry,
I don't know if I'm seeing it.
As much as I
Then, as if that's not enough, you poke your head out the door to try and get
I'm
a
gonna
better
go
view.
dead
And instead of
pale.
seeing a better view of Alan grappling with
look
this other
red in
one,
the
you
eyes.
see Radford running, just normal
I have
running
seen
up the wall,
entire
holding one by the
battalions
throat. It's just
minced
dangling
and
disabled
flown
from
down
his
the
hand.
river. I have
you
seen
realize
what this land
just a half second too late
can become
that
in
they're on the cardinal
generations.
directions of the
I know
walls.
powers
and so you turn
that
to the
have worked
final
to
wall
devastate
where you
all
see one
that
of
our
them
world
streaking
has
not
ever
towards
worked
you,
to do
but
before
around the
your
bend of the stacks and towards
mothers came out of their
We're
womb
going to
and
cut down
even
to Alan
thought
first.
about
and the other thing
starting
that
your
happens is
line.
that happens is you hear ding.
You
10th
have
tier.
no idea
And Azakug steps
what
out
I've
of the
seen.
Verticulator as rushing Malarkey Circle. Alan's fighting one on the 9th tier, and Radford's
I don't
running.
think I can beat
so
a nat
Alan,
20,
we're
but I
gonna
rolled
start
it a
with
second
you.
time anyway.
We're gonna
I
have
would
a
just
good
like to take a
old-fashioned
moment,
combat, and I gave it 20
pause,
hit
and
points of damage from your flamethrower.
Fox on his old man
and, like,
energy.
Combined
I think it's
flamethrower
really
and
good.
tackle.
It's really
so
crisp.
you are now engaged in a
And-
grapple with it. To maintain your grapple,
Good old
I'll need
man
an
energy.
athletics or an acrobatics from you. All right,
Gotcha.
and then whatever you want to do to it while it's grappling. 10. Yes. So it wriggles out of your grasp and kind of kicks to the side and like flops over. So now all of its like apparatus and
I don't see
weapons are
my
facing
bangle.
up, and
I
it can
will
use
work
those to continue the fight.
just as
But
hard
it is
as
still
the
your turn.
powers that turned off magic to make sure your last name doesn't exist in the books. You hear me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were the biggest and
as a
baddest.
reminder, you're both
that must
prone
be
right
within
now,
your
so you can do your double
purview.
attack where each attack has because you were tackling him. So you can do your double attack with disadvantage, or you can stand up and attack. Yes, in either case.
I'm just gonna lean back and be like, "Your play, man."
Okay. It passes. The construct kind of whips to the side.
If that's so, why don't you go ahead and drop it off with Rockley now?
Great. Nat 20. Confirmed nat 20. You hit that thing real hard. 15 points of damage. Dang, you hit it really hard. The sword slashes along the side of it. You get the feeling as you watch this hit that the armor on it is particularly resistant to like edged cuts and things like that. But you still hit it really hard. So that's good. It is now the construct's turn. The construct is going to...
My man's got split
you.
personality disorder.
Okay, the construct rolled a 13 on its
I
first
say
attack.
the
Does that
DM
hit
just
you?
loves creating.
Okay,
He loves
so the
creating
construct
realistic
takes
conflict and then realize that he has to
just a
resolve
straight
it.
up swing with an iron fist, and it misses as Alan kind of steps back out of the way. To do is at its feet, a little like compartment opens at the ankle, and in all 360-degree directions, poof, little caltrops shoot out of it, making the ground difficult terrain. If you move towards it to attack, you will take just 2 hit points of damage, like basically to move through that terrain. Yeah, which is what it's about to do. All right, roll to hit. 4 damage. It is like real dented and buzzing and your servo's burning out, but it has not died yet.
Just wanted to tell you.
Fox, you have
Specifically
a
you. I
couple
know
of
you're
options
listening,
for entering this
James.
encounter.
Yeah, James.
So
Right now,
from where your
GG.
scout that is racing Archy Circle, so
GN.
you could go try and intercept that one. It
Hey, this is Radford. They tell me you can watch these goofballs live every Monday on... Hang on a second. Twitch.tv/Winged Badger Gaming.